Right now?
This is
live. So I to set so that's just the live.
Hello everybody, Mike Allen here. Welcome to tonight's show. We are live at Fort Kickass Productions. I'm Mike Allen, your host. Tonight we have Leland Freeman, and he's returning and talking about some stuff having to do with the local political scene and everything else that's going on. Danger Davis is back from vacation, all fiancéed up and stuff. And he's got some news about the anime crowd. I don't know what's up with that, but we'll figure that out. Mad Mike sitting in here, might even get into some gun stuff today. And Chae Valistreri is back as a repeat guest. Our guest tonight, Ali Al-Kafji, will not be on tonight, but he'll be on next week. He had some. He's out looking for locations for his next film. So sit back, relax. Let's have a good time. This is a Fort Kickass production of the Radio Man Cave. I'm Mike Allen, and you are now on the air. Hello everybody, Mike Allen here, and we are live in the Man Cave, courtesy of Fort Kickass Productions. With me in the studio today, we have most of all the normal cast of characters that you've known to grow and love. You can communicate with the show in a couple of different ways. You can tweet us at MikeAllen_OTA, hashtag it Radio Man Cave, 512-539-0357 is the phone number. Or you can send me an email at mikeallensports@gmail.com. In the Man Cave today, we have Mad Mike, the player to be named later. Chae Valistreri joining us again, coming back. Our guest from last week is making another appearance. And Coach K is back from his cruise, 10, rested, and ready to go. Our house band tonight is the Angel The Outlaw, and they will be joined by the Carson. You can even read my own writing. Nice. Sean and CJ Cooper, a father and son band, and they'll be playing for us later on tonight. But first, welcome everybody to our second live stream.
I feel so welcomed.
Well, you're always welcome.
Good.
Especially when you walk in the door with alcohol.
Absolutely.
Yay!
What do we get?
So,
Yeah.
here we are.
Hey man, I'm back. I was here last week, right?
Yeah, we got better lighting this
We
time.
do have better light. I feel like
It's
I'm not
here.
this white. I'm putting that out there. I'm not this white. That's
Don't
the
blame
LED
it. No,
lights.
don't blame it on the LEDs.
I don't know,
get
dude.
sun. I get sun. Of a
Yeah.
We get pretty good sun.
Yeah.
We're looking pretty dark in this corner.
A couple of half Hispanics over there.
I like the perma wash. I do.
Oh yeah, no,
It's a
that's
good one.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
So, Chae, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you for the lighting. You donated some lights to us, and we're going to put that together. Of course, we're not on Mixler tonight because Mixler decided that they were going to crash. They've been crashed for about a week now. So we're going to get the audio portion of the show back up as soon as they get cleared. Or if they can't, I'm going to find another avenue to use.
New platform?
New platform. We move platforms to improve.
And keep getting better.
And keep getting better and better. And still having fun, and we're still here. Coach,
Yeah.
you went on a cruise.
Yes.
Tell us about the cruise.
What do you want?
I don't know.
What do you
Tell
want?
us the
Where'd
good
you
stuff.
go?
Tell us the stuff that you promised not to tell anybody. That's what we want to know.
Where'd you even go?
7 days in the Caribbean. Cozumel. Cozumel was good. That's amazing. It's a little bitty island, and over 100,000 people live in less than 10% of the landmass. The rest of it's all protected, and
Wow.
so that was nice to go exploring. But
I like it.
we went on a Jeep tour.
Nice.
We went on a Jeep tour. And no, just a good old fashioned Jeep Wrangler, big old tires, little lift kit on it. And we walk up to the Jeep and we're like, man, it's such a beautiful day. It's mid 80s the whole time. That was wonderful. We're like, man, the tops are on and everything. And they take us on this road 10 miles. We go to the other side of the island and they kind of show us around, and all of a sudden they turn around and there's a trail. And we go to the trail, and about 100 yards into the trail, the forest goes like this around the Jeep. So there is a reason
that they
the
had
tops are on.
Yeah, they'd probably pull you out
So,
of the Jeep.
needless to say, I slapped my wife and the two passengers that decided to ride us a couple times with trees because we left the windows down and everything.
Nice.
So that was fun in Cozumel. And then next stop was Georgetown and Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
That was so all the pictures they see of like the crystal blue water and all of that stuff. That was great. That was worth the trip.
Wow.
So swim with the dolphins. They have a little dolphin pond, not dolphin pond.
Now, are those
but it's
dolphins free to like go out in the open and come in?
Free dogs.
no, they're not. So and they
Free
they
to
take
the
you-
dolphins! Free the dolphins!
And somebody find him a running back
and a quarterback.
and a quarterback,
Um,
and hell, the whole
Matt
coaching
Wolfish.
staff.
I actually went to the Grand Cayman as well. I did the Stingrays.
Stingrays.
Yeah.
That was the thing. It was like the stingrays, the turtles,
Yeah.
the dolphins, and my wife wanted to swim with the dolphins. And that was, man, they did all the things like they put your life vest. You're out in the tank with the dolphins, and they're like, okay, you swim out in the middle, you hold your hand out to the side. And the next thing you know, this dolphin comes up, fin pops up, you grab a hold, and it takes off. And it pulls you along.
Pulls you along?
They go through, and then the second time you go out there on a boogie board, and you sit there and you hold your feet up, and you don't realize all of a sudden you feel this thing in your foot, and that boogie board goes out of the water, and you're flying across the water.
Wow.
Nice.
So we did that, and then there's a beach on Grand Cayman they call 7 Mile Beach. It's, like I said, it's all the pictures you see.
Yeah.
It's the crystal
There's a
clear.
lot of pictures. You sent like 40 pictures.
That's it. Crystal clear, white sand. So we were out there for a couple hours, and then last stop was Jamaica, Falmouth, Jamaica.
Awesome. I've been there. Did we go on the same cruise?
It was
must have been on the same
it was
cruise.
great. That boat was humongous.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize till afterwards because
It's like 15 stories tall, isn't it? Or
yes,
something like that?
and that's from the waterline up.
Yeah.
And we went and talked to them about another one because I mean, after the fact we could take the kids. There's enough stuff for the little kids to do. It would have been just fine.
Yeah, but why would you want to take the kids?
Well, yes. And
Screw those guys. Adult kid.
no, but there's enough stuff that you can take the kids and literally drop them off, and it's like daycare for the day.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So,
I thought you were just going to abandon them in the country. Like, I'm out.
no, I wouldn't do that to my kids.
Back
I
home.
actually hey man, they're white. You can get a good amount of money for them.
Sell a kidney. You'll be good.
I'll see you. Daddy loves you.
They can do stuff like program computers and
I don't know. My kids could probably run the iPad better than you are over there. But we found out the boat we were on is not the biggest in the Royal Caribbean fleet. It wasn't even the second biggest. It was third, and this thing was huge. Like when we left Galveston, there's a Carnival was parked right next to it, and we're twice the size of that boat. And
What's the name of the ship you were on?
we were on.
Sir Ship Lincoln.
Now you're gonna ask me, and I can't remember.
The relative of Bodie McButtface.
Can't remember the name of the ship.
No, I
Yeah.
The entire time.
You were shipping McShipface.
Yeah,
there were a few nights of us.
El Bodo Loco.
So when you got to Jamaica, because I've actually been to that exact same place, did you get out of the resort?
So when we got to Jamaica, and that was the only place we have an excursion.
Right.
And so all we did was we came off, we just went to the port and just walked around all the shops in that little area. We didn't go too far in, and like I said, they have everything.
What was that island that like that lady died? Was that like the Korean or whatever? But like,
Oh, way to bring everything down. Yeah, talk about vacation.
I
You
mean,
still
like-
got it down.
yeah, no, like she was on
As a
vacation and
racist?
yeah, she got like sick and just like died.
I mean, there's
Fell
been
off the
people.
boat died?
Yeah, there's
No,
been
like-
people jump off the boat.
No, it wasn't that
either.
either. She was like you stayed somewhere and she got like some sort of like weird
Is that
virus or whatever.
the stuff they're talking about?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, in the DR, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything that's
The
going
fungus,
on,
or
the
the
water,
bacteria,
or the bacteria
Yeah,
in the
like-
water.
So obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, that would suck pretty hard.
Yeah, that'll get you brain.
No, but
I went to Jamaica. I went there. I took like a 45-minute taxi up to Montego Bay with my girlfriend at the time, and it was awesome because we found some people who were visiting there, and the locals won't know where to buy weed from, even though it's not totally legal there, but it's not illegal.
it's
impossible
It's-
force.
Right? Yeah, but they don't. They don't care. Like
They don't care. That's a very good.
Yeah.
They don't care.
But they won't tell you. If you're a tourist, they're not going to tell you. But I ended up finding a really nice fella, and he shared his great big old bag of weed with me and my girlfriend, and I got stoned as shit on Montego Bay. I mean, what you were saying, the white sandy beaches, crystal clear water, and I'm sitting there blazed out of my mind. I concocted it in my head that the taxi driver was in cahoots with the ship owner, and when we were riding back, they were going to mug and steal from us both.
Jesus.
Yeah, I got really stoned. Really stoned. But it was really a nice time.
No, it was good. And they don't lie. We brought home plenty of alcohol from and it's worth it. It's cheaper to buy on the boat.
Yeah.
You still have to.
Well, it's duty free, right?
It's duty free. You still have to pay tax on it when you finally get back. But between me and my dad, we brought home 8 bottles, 8 liters.
And none of it made it over here tonight.
No,
Not a drop.
Not a
I'm
drop.
a stingy ass when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Was it at least good booze?
Oh, let's see. It was 4 liter bottles of Crown Royal for $75.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And then I got 2 bottles of Jack, 2 liters of Jack.
15 bottles back from Puerto Rico.
2 liters of Jack and 2 liters of Woodford Reserve. And I think we paid, well, of course, it was under total, even with the tax we had to pay, was less than $200 when we got back.
No.
So if you drink it all before you get back, do you still have to pay tax on it?
No. So if you go buy on the boat or even in port, like as soon as you come back on the boat, they take it from. What? Yeah. You can't drink it.
Well, that sucks. It's not very cash money of them.
No, it is because they're gonna make their money at the bar.
That's right.
So you're either gonna buy some kind of drink package on the boat. You're either gonna get a soda package or you're gonna get an alcohol package, which isn't bad because you walk up and it's all the alcohol you want. It's like $60 a day. So some people will definitely use it. You just walk up and your car.
Yeah.
They
They get it going.
I feel like I would like to sample your selection of
and dude, they have.
Yes.
Also, do you happen to have duct tape? Edward Fruity hands.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a hot tub, but I would totally
On
play.
vacation.
Yeah. Just do some really gross, like college kid level shit
And that was
on a cruise.
that
That'd
was
be
the
fun.
hot tub and the pool. So they actually have different pools on the boat itself.
Yeah.
There's kids, little play skate, whatever. Then there's the normal pool. And most of the pools, you know how you get in, they gradually go down or whatever. No, you get in the first part of the pool is about maybe 4 inches deep, and then all of a sudden it drops to 5 feet. Straight down.
Sweet.
And then there's an 18 and older section. And it's got hot tubs where usually the hot tub is hanging off the side of the boat.
Wow.
So you sit there just like, it's pretty cool. And then the pool itself has like stools and a table right in the middle, like with a bridge over top of it, like a shade, like a bar. And then
You know, if there's a bar pool, you can drink there all day and never get up.
no, and they have it. Well, besides the guys walking around bringing drinks the entire time.
He'll get it later.
I know. See, I'm torn now because I've done a cruise, but then I also did down in Mexico. I don't remember where, but I did a resort. It was like a week long, and at this resort you pay for everything. It's all inclusive. So it's like just you go to any restaurant, eat whatever you want, get whatever you want, drinks everywhere all the time. It was great, and it's one of those things that I like the cruise, but it is where it's like you go to a place and then you gotta go, get your shit in, do it, have fun, get back on the boat, get out, you know. See, I censored myself again.
Yeah.
That was good, wasn't it?
It was good.
I did a lot of shit on no F's. So,
We'll only do one, and we're holding that one later in the show.
No, it's gonna
Not dropping it out within the first 5 minutes.
Oh my god!
Holy cow.
That was 100%
Within the
necessary.
first sentence.
Yeah. No, that was a necessary one.
I was not told of this rule.
This was not
No
written.
longer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was American.
We had freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, well, we've got a live band now at the show, Coach, since you left, and they are absolutely phenomenal.
The ladies
whole
were here
band.
last time.
Yeah, well, no, then the whole band was here last week.
Yeah, dude.
The whole band is called The Usual D. They will be at New Buda Drive-In July 6th, 6:30 to 8:30. At the Tavern, July 10th, 9 p.m. And then Angel and the Outlaw, who's here with us tonight, and that's Diane and Amy, they're going to be at the Tavern, July 30th at 9 to 10 p.m. So let's check in with them right now. Here they are, my live house band, the Angel and the Outlaw. Take it away. sure to go check those guys out. I tell you what, I am so happy that they're part of the band here and the house band here. And they're really good. So we're going to hear more from them later on. But right now, we have our political correspondent. Is that a good thing?
Contributor, correspondent, whatever you want to call it.
Social commentator.
What Stephen Colbert did on the Daily Show once upon a time before he lost his marbles. So,
well, he acted like he was a conservative. That was a spoof on conservative talk show hosts.
now he just acts like an asshole. So,
Yeah, well, yeah.
but thank you for having me on the air with you this week, Mike Allen. And the topics I'm actually going to talk about this week is we're going to first talk about if you're watching us tonight live, there's going to be a SpaceX Falcon Heavy launch. Not at 10:30 Central Time, so you don't have to second screen the SpaceX launch with us, but about 1:30 in the morning. This is going to be the third Falcon Heavy launch, and why it is groundbreaking is for several reasons. First is that it is the third Falcon Heavy launch, the second which actually is going to be carrying a payload, but it's going to be the first for many, many milestones. It's going to be the first Falcon Heavy launch that's going to be launched at night. It's going to be the first Falcon Heavy launch that's going to be launched with multiple payloads, 24 different payloads in all, one of which is a atomic space clock, a space atomic clock for deep space probes. It's meant for interstellar navigation. As part of that particular payload, they're also going to be launching 152 cremated remains into space. It's not the first time cremated remains have been launched into space. Gene Roddenberry, once upon a time, was launched into space 20 years ago. I think Timothy Leary was as well. But there's also 23 other different payloads for the United States Air Force. It's going to be very, very interesting, this particular launch. You got to change orbits. And this is also the first time they're going to be reusing the two side boosters for the Falcon Heavies. And this is also going to be the longest downrange recovery attempt of the center booster, which is a brand new booster. I think it's like 1,500 kilometers.
Don't those come back and land?
Yes, with 1,500 miles away, the center booster is going to be landing on the drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You. The two side boosters, which have flown on the previous Falcon Heavy launch, they actually do what is known as a boost back burn and actually return back to Cape Canaveral. And this is the first time the Falcon Heavy's been launched at night. It's very interesting. If you watch the last Falcon 9 launch a few weeks ago, that they actually launched the thing out of a foggy California coast, and they were able to land it. It's all done with GPS. It's just amazing what they're able to do with SpaceX.
So are they saying that is this the rocket engine that's going to get us to Mars or back to the moon?
No, that's going to be. Well, they might actually.
Are we going to leave that up to NASA?
They actually might use the Falcon Heavy for part of the mission because they can't get their act together with the Ares.
Too busy riding with the Russians.
Exactly. Well, it's
remember our enemy, the Russians?
Yeah,
those guys.
Well, the problem is that the
SpaceX.
The problem is the SpaceX capsule had a little problem where it exploded, testing the abort motors. Ironically enough,
Is that the one that had?
that's the one that actually went up to the space station. That's the one that successfully went up to the space station. And we're going to use that particular capsule to test the abort motors.
And it
blew up right before the abort motors fired off. I wonder if it's some issues with the 3D printed valves or whatnot. And Boeing with their Starliner, well, Boeing's got its own set of problems with the 737 MAX, but with their Starliner, they're having issues as well. So we're still relying on the Russians to get to the International Space Station. Speaking of something more domestic, Donald Trump had his kickoff rally, his official launch of his re-election campaign last week. And unlike previous Trump rallies where you could just show up early in the day of the rally, there's been people that were camping out for several days that didn't get in. That's how many people actually went to this rally. They filled up a arena which housed 20,000 people.
It's like the newest iPhone launch or something. But
it's a lot more fun than an iPhone launch. It's a lot more fun than an iPhone launch.
Yeah, to watch. Yeah.
No, it's amazing. I've been to 2 of these Trump rallies.
Really?
Yeah,
What's it like?
it's like a rock concert, actually. The fact that Trump speaks and speaks and speaks, the shortest rallies go for at least an hour and a half. And the guy's 73 years old, and he doesn't, and they say, oh, you're not supposed to eat fast food. The guy eats Big Macs probably for breakfast, lunch, brunch, and dinner. And he's got all that stamina, so what does that say to you? Meanwhile, actually, he's straight edge. He doesn't drink. He doesn't take drugs. He doesn't even take aspirin. And the reason for that is his older brother, Fred Jr., died of alcoholism. So he's actually straight edge.
No, I've heard a lot of conflicting things about him being on prescriptions.
No.
That keep him up.
No.
I mean,
He drinks way too much Diet Coke.
He drinks a couple 12-packs a day.
My question is, how do you have a 70-something-year-old man who's able to do something like that without some sort of enhancer? Most people that age, especially if they treat themselves like crap.
Ask Melania. Anyway, not to be outdone, the Democrats are supposed to have, what, is it 25 of them?
22?
I thought it was 25.
It's probably going to be 40 by the time they're all said and done.
And so they actually had so many of these Democrat candidates, they actually had to break it up over 2 different days.
Now, the one I saw showed them, it showed like 30-something, and they were going to cut it down to 20. And
it was over 2 different days.
So they did split it up.
Well, there's actually a meme on Facebook that is going around. I've actually posted on my personal Facebook, and I'll read off some of the actual. In fact, I can even show it to you as I bring it up right here. So it's reversed, but I'll just read it off to you. We need to raise taxes. Trump bad. My body, choice, your tax dollars. Racism. Climate change. Farting cows. Russia. Free college. Among other things. So.
Did you win? Did you get a bingo?
No, I think I've gotten a higher tax bill and a headache.
You're welcome.
And that wasn't even all the categories. And of course, back here in Texas, it actually made a lot of the news today that conservative firebrand Jonathan Stickland isn't going to be running for re-election, which I kind of had this feeling in March after he basically got thrown under the bus by a lot of the Second Amendment groups for withdrawing the request to have a hearing for the constitutional carry bill after one of the constitutional carry guys got into a tiff with the House Speaker, Dennis Bonnen. So I just had kind of a feeling that he was going to not run for re-election, but I'm surprised he did it now versus announcing it, which is a tradition of the Texas House. If you're not going to run for re-election, you know you're not going to run for re-election. Have was known as a personal privilege speech on the last day of session called Sine Die, where he basically tells everyone to go to hell. So I'm just kind of surprised that he didn't do that. He waited a couple months to make the decision, but I don't blame him one bit. So, in other news, which continues from last week, thankfully we did not go to war with Iran. Trump decided at the last moment 150 Iranian deaths for one $150 million drone that was shut down. It was kind of an uneven payback. So hopefully we don't end up in war with them because...
Well, we're baiting them.
I know we're baiting them.
We're baiting them because the military-industrial complex needs to be fed. Afghanistan's winding down. We're not in Iran or Iraq, so we need the next big war. So let's have a Gulf of Tonkin.
Come on,
let's
man.
blow up the Maine.
Profits, right?
Yeah.
So interesting thing.
We've got 13 aircraft carriers, and we got to have the money to fuel them.
That's right. We got to have some people to kill, because otherwise, how are we going to test these awesome weapons? Come on.
You can't have nukes while we bomb you with our nuclear-powered aircraft carriers.
Yeah. So, I don't know how true this is, but I know that Trump watches Fox News, and Tucker Carlson, out of all people, has been credited, maybe blamed, with getting Trump to back off of the idea of going to war with Iran, which was pretty interesting because he said that it would be a bad idea.
It would be a bad idea.
Well, of course it would be a bad idea, but to hear it from, the news channel that he frequents, that's putting it nicely from what I've heard.
Well, a lot of conservative pundits coming into the radio man cave, Buck Sexton, even made a point saying it was a good idea that we didn't go to war. And ironically enough, the Democrats are actually blaming Trump for not going to war and saying that he's erratic making these decisions of not shooting off missiles at the last moment because you actually analyze the situation and go and realize this is not going to work.
Yeah, well, that's corporate Democrats for you, you know. So one of the things that a lot of people either forget about or don't remember was, I think it was 1988 that the U.S. shot down an Iranian passenger jet with 290 people on it. I think 260 of them were Iranian and the others were non-Iranian passengers. The report said that, well, the battleship that was there saw the plane coming, a descent at them at 450 knots or miles per hour. I don't know. I don't fly planes. But the counter report was that the plane was taking off and was going about 305 knots. It was ascending to cruising altitude when the United States blew it out of the sky. So it's like,
and it's not an isolated incident. Passengers were shot down by accident. The South Korean plane, I believe, around the same period.
Well, I mean,
more recently, the airliner over what was it? The Ukraine. The Ukraine.
I mean, if you were to be as conservative as possible, how many attempted coups or interferences in other countries' elections have we partaken in? It was interesting because I was talking to a friend about this.
All the time.
Right. Well, yeah.
And the biggest thing that happened to us that we're making a deal about is that the Russians put a bunch of memes up on Facebook,
Put stuff on Facebook.
that somehow drove us to vote for Trump.
Yeah, never mind the fact that Facebook has a multi-billion, I think it's a multi-billion-dollar contract with the. I almost used the one F with the CIA, man. Are you serious?
The dark web.
Stop! Like people are like, Facebook, it's so convenient. Stay in touch with me.
No, the
Never see.
facial recognition technology.
It's
like the movie
Minority Report.
Minority Report.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was
And if
thinking.
that's what Russians had to do was make a bunch of posts off of fake profiles, what does that say about us and where our intelligence has gone in just asking why or not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
Look,
all it takes is a meme to get us emotionally driven
so
to do this? I mean, come on.
during that whole debacle, because I remember watching it being really fascinating. Because by that time I was off Facebook because I just don't want to do it. I don't. That's a relationship I don't want to have. It's too much. But the Russians, right? They spent. I think they were able to trace like $100,000+ something along those lines that came out of Russia. Now, as far as
Wait, these people were paid to make
well, no, the amount of money that came out of the entire country of Russia that was used during the 2016 elections was about now that's
which is nothing.
which is nothing, especially when you
Hillary herself, what, $1.5 billion, and Trump barely was able to spend $300 million.
That's it.
And that's another thing too, is that Trump, after his big rally, was able to raise $28 million in a 24-hour period.
We're talking about Russia and Facebook and stuff, and I heard something. And up until Trump ran, the predominant news source for the presidential election was the New York Times, and has an average subscriber of like 250,000 people, something like that. Trump's use of Twitter alone during his presidential run, he reached over 250 million people.
That's why
you have all this shadow banning going on.
Because he actually had, as these platforms, a democratization of news reporting. That it wasn't just from Reuters and AP, and it's fed to the New York Times and fed to all these other regional papers.
Yeah, well, and again with Twitter, Facebook, all those social media things, they're not. There's the people who are in control of that is Silicon Valley, are the millionaires and billionaires who own these things and who literally have contracts with the government.
Did we just lose half the viewers on the live stream?
Yeah, absolutely. They're like,
Actually, we still got quite a few.
no, they're like, this doesn't sound right. This sounds wrong. It's America's number one. Number one what? We're not even number one at obesity anymore. Do you know that?
Yeah,
We're not even.
Wait a minute.
We need to go to Whataburger after this.
Was
That means we got to go to Chicago now.
Was I the tipping point here?
I like ketchup
Ready
too
to
much.
gain my way back?
You were the literal and figurative tipping point. Was that mean?
So,
That was a little mean.
so losing 100 pounds. I did it. I dropped us out of first place.
So we're in the middle of the road of everything now, including getting fat.
Yeah. Oh, we're not in the middle of the road, and a lot of the things we are like down on the list. Like I'm going down, and my hands off the camera, but it's still going down. It's still going down. It's still going. It's down there. We're not number one in anything.
And yet,
Even at a hot dog eating contest.
Well, no, we're number one.
No, Japan's got that. And yet,
That's bad.
people are flooding into this country. And this is something interesting. This might be a little biased, but the source I got it from was a very high level chief of staff for one of our senators, who I used to talk to quite often because he lived near me, right next door. And he sat down with an economist, and they were talking about this stuff. He says, "Yeah, all that stuff that's going on in Washington and everything that we see that's going on." He said, imagine this. Imagine every country in the world is lined up and we're having a race. There's every country, United States, China, Japan, everybody. And the gun goes off. The United States has already finished the race, went to the locker room, showered, came back out, and is relaxing, and all the rest of the countries, most of them aren't even out of the starting gate yet. That's how far ahead we are. What our problem is we become a nation of followers. We follow things, and we make decisions on emotion. We don't make decisions on logic and reason. So we're very easily manipulated by the news. That's why the news is turned into directed at an ideology. You want conservative, you go Fox News. You want ultra left liberal, it's MSNBC. CNN's trying to get back to the middle because they have, and all this is driven by advertisers. If you watch an hour-long show, Rachel Maddow, clock how long you actually see Rachel Maddow, and out of that entire hour, there's 20 minutes of commercials. So they're keeping you there long enough so that they can blast you with the commercials. And the commercials fit whatever demographic.
So you would have a bunch of Planned Parenthood commercials on Rachel Maddow, and Hannity would have a bunch of Remington and Smith & Wesson commercials.
Well, no, because you can't advertise guns. But if you watch Fox News, what they have is Geritol, the financial planning.
Wait a minute. The Sportsman Channel, the Outdoor Channel, advertise guns all the time on those.
Yeah, I'm talking about on the news. You're not going to see guns. You're going to see Geritol. Depends. Prozac.
Well, that's actually football.
Was that Sal Palmetto for this or and then MSN? Well, I thought it was funny. CNN, they have a lot of advertisements for depression.
Yeah, a lot of the antidepressants that don't work.
So the fun
make it
thing
worse.
about, and I'm glad that you said ideology, because that's kind of the world that I think we have devolved into. It's when you go outside or hell anywhere, you're dealing with a plane of ideological warfare. Everywhere something is trying to get your attention, something is trying to influence you, and what you just said. That's kind of when the internet. I don't want to say when the internet first started out, because that's a sort of a nonsensical thing. It wasn't really around. But the internet that I kind of grew up into, where it was still the dial-up and the AOL, and mom didn't know what she was doing, so there's 60 toolbars. Like, yeah, but. In that world, you used to be able to go online.
You got an AOL CD every day.
Yeah.
So you got the new coaster for the.
That's it, and sometimes you could get the game magazines, and they make a game disc with some free games. What ended up happening is it slowly devolved into an echo chamber. Now, if you, like you said, if you like conservative media, then what ends up happening is all the algorithms are there to serve the advertisers. They want to show you what they think that you want to see. And so they just fill you in this bubble, and anytime you try to go outside of it and learn anything new, you end up slowly transitioning to just a different bubble. It's not as if you could go on. The only way you can do that.
The other interesting thing is what used to be entertainment and sports has also gotten politicized. ESPN is how much sports you actually see on ESPN, or you look at the Super Bowl, it's politicized. So
Yes. Well, to me, sports, especially like football, is a really good example of sort of the way that this nation is, which is you know, it's a way of knocking the war drums. It's like we have football, we get some big dudes slamming against each other, we show some titties, we got grunts around, we got beer, we got the army and guns. And,
Wait a minute. You're talking about sports and everything like that.
well, football.
Why?
Yeah.
Why do the majority of the people watch the Super Bowl?
Just commercials.
No, it ain't even halftime.
Or the commercials.
It's the
Or
commercials.
the commercials.
They watch the game just because it's on.
Well, no. Only we watch the game.
Yes.
The wives are in the kitchen, and every time it cuts to a commercial,
And
it's like
then
a
everybody
frickin',
pops up.
it's like the charge down of the light brigade as they all run in, and then of course at halftime we all got to leave.
But when Peyton Manning said it best though when he actually won, because what was it, who was the other quarterback that was politicizing it, the whole African American quarterback thing? When they asked Peyton Manning, he goes, "I'm here, play a game, drink some Bud Light, have some fun, play some football, kiss my wife when I win," and everyone was just going like, waiting for him to say something political, and he didn't. Because he was old school. He was here to play the game of football.
I wonder how much money Bud Light paid him to say, "I'm just here to play some football, drink some Bud Light."
Actually, the sponsor gave us Miller Lite.
So maybe when he said Miller Lite and drank Bud Light, because I remember Brock Lesnar did that, where the sponsor was one beer and he goes, "I'm going to drink some Coors Light and have sex with my wife."
And the advertising company had the sniper. They're like, "Should I take him out?"
Leland, thank you so much for your insight.
Absolutely.
And it's always a pleasure to have you here. Stick around. All right. Sean and CJ Cooper are going to be sitting in. Is that what we're doing? I don't know. Leland's in the way. I can't see out into
Yeah,
the...
they're good. Yep.
Are we all set up?
Yep.
We're ready to go. All right. So exciting. Here they are. The Angel and the Outlaw with Sean and CJ Cooper sitting in. We'll be right back after this brief interlude. You're watching On the Air with Mike Allen. Exclusively on Fort Kickass Productions. We'll be right back. Go fix her camera. All right.
We were rolling.
We were rolling for a while. Well, I had a little camera faux pas with our band, but they're still playing, so we're just going to listen. Maybe it'll pick up on mine a little bit. Okay, cool. Nothing from the camera? Well, reboot it. All right, that's Angel and the Outlaw. You'll be hearing them at the Tavern July 30th, 9 to 10 p.m. And of course, the entire band at New Buda Drive-In July 6th. That'll be from 6:30 to 8:30. The Tavern July 10th, 9 to 10 p.m. Man, that's good. Yeah, they're good. They are good.
I was hoping that you would start to sing along with it. You know,
Me
just
sing along with it? I don't know the words.
pantomime it. You know,
I don't know
but,
the words.
Well,
You can at least try.
yeah, you could have
try.
tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Could've
I
tried.
could have put the A for effort.
It would have been something.
Well, you're a little bit of a musician.
I'm a little bit of a musician.
We'll have to have you step in there one day.
I'll step.
And if you do Sweet Home Alabama,
Freebird.
Yeah,
we will be throwing full beer cans at you as hard as we can.
I'll do the 15-minute version of Freebird. There's a 15-minute, but no.
Yes.
Good. No, I have to come on. You know, I don't know if you're gonna. If I go in there and I'll just say this is parody, and then I'll play Hotel California, right? It falls under parody law.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's me singing it. It's like making fun of it. It's almost an insult.
Bunch of assholes.
I get
Bunch of assholes.
Wait, are we gonna talk? I like what's coming up. I think.
Gun talk?
Gun talk.
Gun talk. I tell you what, Mad Mike has moved into the was that South Wing
Yeah.
of Fort Kickass.
Yeah, the strategic.
And we are.
That's the one that's falling
Michael.
into itself, right?
Yeah.
We're not gonna. I'm not gonna say that he's got an inventory, but
It's a lot of little bits.
a lot of paper punching material in there.
Nah.
Legally and lawfully.
Legally and lawfully. And allegedly.
No one in this house has a criminal record, and we all own our firearms. Matter of fact, I went out. My son and daughter-in-law took us out to the Austin Sporting Clay Club, where we walked around, and I shot my new 870, and it shoots like a dream.
Good time.
That thing was knocking, and I got my 870 Hickey.
Gave you a little love.
You see that? 870.
Yeah, see, you got one. I didn't get any of those guys there. You know, I didn't get any
I
of
don't know,
them.
man. I was just kind of looking over there, and
It was just a little bit.
I don't think we're supposed to show the guns on the show.
Oh, we
right?
can't show the guns.
Oh,
See, now YouTube's gonna pull us down because we show the guns on.
Boo.
Well, what we're gonna do, Fort Kickass Productions is actually a production company run by my son and Danger Davis, and they're in partnership with us to have the live streaming. But they're going to start doing segments, hiking segments, outdoor segments, and Mad Mike might go through some gun safety and go
Other
through
gun stuff.
other gun stuff out at the range, and we'll have that content up in the future. So that's going to be something to look forward to.
It's just like, I don't know. It's content.
Content. Yeah.
I mean,
So subscribe to Fort Kickass Productions. They're going to have a lot more stuff on there than just my show.
Yeah.
It's just a small part of.
Maybe you'll learn
what they're
something.
doing. And maybe you'll learn something about guns.
Yeah.
And how to not be
Die.
stupid with them.
Yeah, or like how to stuff works. I don't know.
How stuff works.
Yeah,
Stuff
The
works.
cool progression of engineerings and whatnot.
yeah, and the weird smells that come from all the guns too. That's my favorite one. You're like, oh, what does this smell like? Weird packing grease from like the 30s. You're like,
It's
glorious.
called cosmoline.
Yeah, good old cosmoline. Yeah,
Cosmoline.
it's really
Best
good.
way to get cosmoline off is boil it in water.
Nah, that sounds like too much effort.
What?
Like, nah, well it works.
One does not simply get the cosmoline off.
Yeah. Nah, everybody knows, like, my favorite way to get rid of cosmoline is typically, like, I go, like the big, 55-gallon, black trash bags.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put a gun in there, and then I'll just hang it up, out in the garage or whatever, out in the middle of the sun. It'll just kind of melt and collect in the
let it
bag.
drip.
Yeah. Which takes, 2 or 3 days, and I just have, this giant congealed mass, and I'm like, so,
When I was in
And he
basic
names it
training,
Michael Jr. and then it's like...
yeah, I carry it around as, my baby, and I'm like, oh, look at it, it's so cute. People are like,
when I was in basic training, we actually got to create a brand new M16s and they still, at that time, they don't do it anymore, but at that time they had packed the upper and lower receiver in cosmoline. So, of course, what do? You get the privates to clean it. What do you give the privates to clean it?
Toothbrush.
Paper towels, stuff, and the toothbrush.
These are y'all's
Well-
made M16s?
Yeah.
The one that you ended up having to use at some point?
Well, that's when I carried through.
you're like,
The one that sat in the corner and collected dust.
yeah.
Well, it's the one I used through basic training. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
So-
All right.
So, but my senior drill instructor and my platoon drill instructor had kind of taken a shine to me because I was not, I was keeping up with everything. Back then I was in great shape because I wrestled in high school. The runs, the push-ups, the sit-ups didn't bother me. So, and I was a good shot. So anyway, they took me into the showers and said, this is how you do it. And they turned the hot water on. And of course, the showers in the military are those, you ever been in the shower where it's coming out and it's ripping your skin off?
Yeah.
Type,
It's like the pressure jet nozzle.
Yeah, the pressure jet nozzle. Usually in away locker rooms for football.
I was about to say old locker rooms.
Yeah, old
That's
locker
exactly
rooms.
what I thought
So
of.
we take them off
into the man
and we
lines.
turn it all the way up on hot. And I still to this day I'll sometimes clean my pistols like this because what the hot water does is it heats up the metal. And it also melts away all the grime and especially the residue and everything just falls right off. And you scrub it off, and then with soap and water, and then you hit it with the hot water again. And since the metal is heated, the water evaporates off the metal and it's clean. And they showed me, and I cleaned my rifle like that the rest of the time I was in the military. And I always had the cleanest rifle turning into the arms room because I took everybody else to go in and be scrubbing
and
doing the thing, and I walk down to I gotta go to the bathroom, and I walk in the shower with my Dawn dish soap or whatever else I had, and scrubbed it and hit it with the hot water, and it all dried up, and I got all the water out of it and took it back. Said, "Here."
Yeah, see, when I was in the Air Force, they didn't give us a gun to take care of it. They were like, you got to touch that thing twice during your entire
get your
basic.
certification.
Yeah.
Go.
It's here you go. This is how you don't kill yourself on it immediately, and then shoot it. All right, put it away. You'll never use it again. It's welcome to the Air Force.
Stay away from the noisy end.
So,
Yeah.
I would say even holding it underneath really hot running water, that's too much effort. So my personal favorite, and I wish I had another rig for it, but I used to have a solvent tank, so I would just go shooting and then just throw it in the solvent tank, and then I would just leave it there for a day and come back and be like, nah, everything's good.
Dry it off.
I would apply oil and be like, nah, all right, it's good, because as soon as you pull it out of the solvents, it evaporates really quickly. So just because it's pretty much imagine a tub of brake cleaner.
Yeah.
I'm just
But the bad
bloop.
part is him applying oil. Is I can just see him with a can of WD-40 going, looks good. Here you go.
Sweet CLP.
Yeah, it's I got it's just enough CLP and fun hydrocarbons and other sort of chemicals where I'm definitely getting the cancer from it. Whatever.
There's a few brain cells that went out.
I was
with it.
really hoping, and you used to be able to still find them, and if you really look, they actually have gun barrel cases that were lined with asbestos. And I've been looking for one of those just so I could have.
Tasty.
Yeah. Why? No, you just it's just one of those things that sounds cool.
Itchy cotton candy.
Yeah, it's a forbidden cotton candy. And it's just one of those things that you really just want to have because it's super dumb, but it's really collectible. It's really weird. It's super obscure and the EPA was like, oh, you can't have that. And they're like, we're the military. We don't have to listen to regulations.
We don't have to respect the people that are in our military. We own them.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever.
They signed the paper.
That's it.
Yeah.
And for the next 4 years,
Their asses are ours.
6 years if they got you. They go, hey man, look,
Yeah.
look, we'll give you an extra stripey thing.
you wanted that extra college.
Yeah, an
The
extra
extra
stripe.
college.
This is just 2 more years. It's like it's an AT&T freaking contract. I really miss the use of the word fuck.
What are we, an hour into the show?
We got an hour.
Did we even make an
Hour
hour?
15. Solid.
But that was
Yes,
more
you
of
did.
No,
that was more of like this is an example of this word that we're not going to use.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
We're not
that was
allowed-
the Minecraft word. You guys
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
Minecraft. Then.
Yeah. Use this in Minecraft.
Hey, Patrick,
Hey, Adrian Davis.
use your phone.
Oh man.
This is plugged into a headset. They can't hear anything from this.
So
I'm talking
people
about
out
for
there on the
camera.
internet.
What?
When we put the band on the break, does their camera work?
So
Yeah, just gotta back up.
Okay.
we're trying to figure some stuff out here. We want to
There's some
play
technical
difficulties.
the band again.
to be
And right now-
technological difficulties.
Technological.
This is
Technologically.
let's
technical,
let's be
technological.
honest. This is on-the-job training at its finest.
Absolutely.
That's
It's
right.
the coolest form
Yeah, we're
of
good.
doing it.
Oh God,
You find
there's a
folk-
thumbs up and something's gonna break.
We were tempted.
Yeah.
Okay,
Send,
so
send the play.
yeah. Okay, so we were thinking about it. You know, if we're out there and like this door's open, we're just gonna like randomly kind of like walk by.
That's fine, but
Oh.
leave the door open. Everybody walks out, shuts
He
the
said
door.
it's fine. Don't tell him anymore.
Oh,
Yeah. You signed off on it.
Dude, you gotta think about this
Yes.
thing, man. It's a bunch of grown men inside this tiny room. One of you rips ass and we're all dead. Leave it open.
Exactly.
Oh hell
If
yeah!
one of
Oh no!
you rips ass.
What's with make fun of like me today? That's like
I watch-
everybody, this guy, you.
Danger. Mad Mike, I see what you put in your body, brother.
What are you guys been doing since moving?
That is awful. No.
I mean, good God, man.
I mean, I did eat Taco Bell.
Oh.
Well, we got a Power Bowl, so it's okay.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
Yeah.
Had black beans in it.
Yeah, there you go. Gotta get the
Avocado.
black beans.
Yeah.
Black bean shaped things in them.
Yeah, that's,
Really good.
that's gonna come out.
It was more of a paste, but whatever.
Yeah, like words.
I saw them pipe
Are we
bag
gonna-
it out of a.
Are we want some? Are we gonna
Well,
try?
yeah, but I just want to make sure. He's sitting over there, and I just want to make sure the camera works.
Yeah.
I mean, we're coming up on break here in 15 minutes.
They
You
can
know
just-
what? Let's just put it like this. In about 3 months, we'll have this figured out. And by that time, we'll get new equipment that we won't know what the
Yeah, so
to
it's
do with
none of it. Yeah, oh yeah, because you can't drop that bomb because somebody had to use ours already.
We're limited
We'll
to
get
1
one.
hour. You already
Just
used
one.
it.
He only wants to make it one.
Just one.
Fine.
Yeah. I'm straight up not having a good time right now.
What the fruit salad?
I feel like that's the thing. If you tell me, especially if you tell me like, "Hey, look, you shouldn't do that." That's just. That's
Well, now you gotta do it.
right.
Yeah.
You told me not to do it. I'm going to do it.
He's not trying to
Hold
press the
on,
button.
hold
He's
on.
trying to lick the
Hold
button.
on.
Yeah, you like that?
Part of the psychology is I say that as the father figure of the show,
Yeah.
and then the rest of the show I just sit back and watch the anticipation, and
As long as you don't make
You know
it
what?
okay, that's
No,
then I'm
yeah.
fine.
see, we
so that's part of that. Now you know everybody in the audience is the same thing. It's like who's going to be the one? Who's going to? Now he hit it like the second word in the
Dude,
first sentence.
yeah, no.
Almost. See.
Well, that was necessary. That was like to like set the pace of the
Good
show.
Lord.
My concern is he said father figure of the show. When he finally grows this shit back, then you can start using
Well,
that phrase because
mother
right now
figure?
it's just
Well, right now, he's
Okay, well, right now it's like the creepy uncle of the show.
I
yes,
didn't
yes.
see it until you said it. Now I see it.
Now you see it.
Now I
Yeah,
see
now
it.
you see it.
The Scoutmaster of the show.
I quit. I'm going.
I
I didn't sign up for this.
No, it said father. It's not that father.
Angel
Oh, he just got that
God. Done.
That's terrible.
Okay.
Absolutely just terrible.
Should we talk about anime or something?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Let's talk about
Well,
some
he's
nerd
over there.
crap.
He's over there doing.
He's like, I gotta.
Can I talk about something really quick?
Sure,
that's
go ahead,
like
Chae.
a full 180. So I started reading a new book, and it's a really interesting book. It's by Adam Smith, and he's the guy who wrote Wealth of Nations, which is what the Western economic principle or the economic system is
Yeah.
based off of.
Yeah.
Well, he wrote another book. I didn't know about this. He was a philosopher, and he wrote another book called The Theory of Moral Sentiments. And it's a really fascinating book on why people do the things that they do and what motivates them to do those things. You've got two ultimate things, which are the desire and the pursuit of wealth and fame and notoriety, and then you have another avenue that you can go, which is wisdom and awareness and consideration. And it's kind of cool. And I told you it was going to be a complete change from what we were talking about. But for anybody out there, there's a lot of really good literature on it. And for, a lot of the problems and the questions that we bring up in this country on the media and stuff like that, like these are questions that have been talked about for thousands and thousands of years. And one of the best things I think people could do to combat misinformation is to get informed, and it's kind of hard to skew. It's really hard to skew somebody who's dead. Well, it's not. You could, but if you go to the source, you can read it for what it is, and you don't have to worry about how the media spins it.
You know, one of the biggest questions I have in life is, where's my damn dilly bar? Because I really wanted a dilly bar. We were at Dairy Queen. You were with me. It was me.
What in the hell is a dilly bar?
It's an ice cream.
You don't know what a dilly bar is?
Yeah,
like where's
I
Well,
did that, or is it
we haven't had a Dairy Queen in Hutto for who knows how damn long. And they just finally built one, so.
Yeah, dilly bars.
Go get yourself a dilly bar, man.
Yeah, have you not had a dilly bar? Them shits are delicious.
Make sure no kids are around, because that's not okay.
Okay.
They really like them. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. You
No,
gotta
Get one for you. You gotta get
punch
one
a
for
couple
me.
of brats to get out of the parking lot.
Yeah,
They
punch
just
it.
Dude,
wander
just like
your
there's like
car.
a,
Yeah.
like a 7-year-old's like, I'm like, no, bah!
Dude, who taught you to talk?
Does it have enough tensile strength to where I could use one at dilly bar as a defensive weapon?
No, okay.
No.
Well, no,
okay.
no,
Well,
you gotta
okay.
go on.
Oh,
Yeah,
Get
okay.
them in the eye.
Sort of.
It's not worth it because you're going to be wasting it.
That's true.
Okay,
that
well,
fact.
no, unless you just have used the stick part after the fact.
Now you got to remember, when you're done, you're left with a decent weapon.
Yeah, and it's
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's like a spade-shaped popsicle
So
stick
you
that's
could-
kind of wide, so
Alright.
it's just really good for snapping people and launching it with like a little crossbow thing.
Who raised you that you did not learn what these are?
A Dairy Queen?
Dairy Queen raised you? Raised
No,
you?
no.
Oh.
Like what
Dairy
Who
Queen
raised
raised
you
it?
that you didn't know what a dilly bar
Hey, Patty.
was?
We did not go to,
Just mute my phone and use
Dairy
these.
Queen much. We did not go to Dairy Queen much.
Yeah, just mute my.
You guys know that Dairy Queen is from Texas?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I found that out recently.
So yeah. Up in the Midwest, I was like, I don't see like tacos and like the quadruple super like what is it?
Jalapenos.
Yeah, the jalapeno.
Dairy Queen comes from my hometown in Bourbonnais, Illinois, y'all. The original Dairy Queen is still in my hometown. It only runs in the summer because it's cold as hell up there, but that's the original one. Still original soft serve. The dilly bars y'all are talking about down here are frozen, made in a warehouse, shipped. They make them fresh in house up north.
Them shits are good.
Texas, y'all don't even know. You don't even know.
Whatever.
See, I would give us Whataburger, but hell, we sold
Yeah, that
shit
was
off.
ruined.
Hey, Danielle.
Yes.
They're gonna go 24-hour
We got
breakfast and you
Sean
will
and
all
CJ up
look
next,
like
right?
Or what if they don't?
What if they don't?
What if they make Whataburger like not as good?
I doubt it.
Dude,
Their cameras
yeah.
up.
I don't know.
Alright.
The last time somebody said I doubt it,
They were.
they ended up shooting somebody up in
Yeah.
Alley.
We
This is
lost
what's gonna happen.
Schlitterbahn. We lost Schlitterbahn. We lost Whataburger. What the hell?
I stopped going
They
to
take
Schlitterbahn.
buckets
Last time
and
I
we
went to
were home.
Schlitterbahn was my senior year of high school, and I just gone and floated on the river since. So like,
Going to the lazy river is like the best part. It just
I grew up going to Schlitterbahn. Like back when it was just the small original park, had like the soda straws, a couple body slides, and a couple tubes, and you went down to the
the
river.
little treehouse thing is pretty cool. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
He's like, we didn't know
Back when Schlitterbahn, you've been there when they had the old Schlitter coaster and you had that 100-pound sled that you had to carry up all the damn stairs.
See,
My
just
dad
getting into
hated
it
it
before
because
down
I
the
loved
river,
the
just
ride,
drink
so I was
with
like,
them.
Dad, let's go.
Yeah. Shit house in a tube, and then fight back up them stairs because you didn't realize how much you drank. Try not to throw up on the bus on the way back to the beginning of the Kamal River,
And try
to
to-
just run that motherfucker.
Yeah.
He choked it back. He caught it in his teeth.
He was like,
That's kind of like with the holding back the throw up on the bus ride is.
Yeah.
see, I
These four locals are coming up.
the thing about water, like water parks scare me though because I feel like it's just, I mean, there's fecal matter everywhere.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
you're swimming. You're
but
basically
here-
swimming in urine and
Piss.
vomit.
Yeah.
So?
They're like, I'm not gonna get out of
Yeah.
the water.
Get over it.
Yeah, there's chlorine. It's gonna be
My
worse.
skin always itches. All right, we're gonna take a
On that
break.
note,
I didn't know you were
Melton.
I didn't know you were into water sports.
Our guest musicians today are a father and son duo, Sean and C.J. Cooper. Together they're called the Carson Arson. And here they are, live, on the air, with Mike Allen.
Go. We've got a good take. All right, thank you.
Are we still having 10? We're good. We're good.
we are back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, apparently we can't.
Sean and CJ Cooper, the Carson, they call themselves Carson. They're fantastic. They're going to stick around for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good thing.
They can't leave.
Now, Danger Davis has been over there very hard and diligently to make sure that we sound and look as good as he can make us with the circumstance. This will get better. We're gonna have better equipment and we'll be able to hook everything back up so that the show will continue to go on. Thank you for stopping by and checking us out. Subscribe to the channel, set the alerts.
They're just trying to get free airtime.
I know, that's it. But where was I now? Go to my website. Go to all the links if you want to become part of the On the Air with Mike Allen group. It's a group that I put together revolving around the show. And it's different than any group you've been in. You go in there, you're going to think, oh, this is a conservative group. Well, all the conservatives that go in there think, wow, this is a liberal group. And what it is it is a group for open and honest discourse, because that's what we need in a thriving democracy. We need conversation. And the problem is we as Americans are not very well informed, even though we have in our hand a device which gives us access to all the known information in the world.
Yeah, well,
and yet we are the most uninformed generation ever. And the reason why we are is because we make our decisions based on emotion. We have to be a part of a team. That's why one team's senator can go out philandering and cheating on his wife and grabbing stuff and doing all that stuff, and the other side is going to say, hey, look at that guy. He's horrible. He's nuts. But on their side, they have a senator or an elected official that does the same thing, but they get a pass.
Anytime I go and grab a bunch of people, I just get thrown in jail.
I know.
Bull crap.
Because you don't have enough money.
No.
Yeah, that's all there is to it.
There's rich people law, poor people law.
To grow better.
Yeah. but the information is, as you were saying, we have the information available. We have all of the evidence that is presented to
We
us
just have to make the effort
to go look for it. And I was going to use somebody as an example of lazy over here.
What are you doing? What are you talking about? No.
What? Fight!
Not lazy.
But the information is there. And it doesn't matter if it's a national, a state, or even a local. We see we see that crap all the time. That's
Good Lord.
Well, 1984 by George Orwell said that you could control people by inflicting pain, and it was a good book, but I think Brave New World got it better, which is that you control people by inflicting pleasure.
Yes.
Everything that we have is absolutely convenient, and we are a headline. I think that people really do try to keep themselves up to date on what's going on, but the problem is there is so much information that is constantly coming at us from all directions about everything all at once. One of the best things that you could do, in my opinion, to inform yourself about who you are as a person is seriously get the hell off the phone. Like, I'm weird. I use monochrome on my phone because there's been studies that have shown that every time you get a notification, that's a red notification, it's a little dopamine trigger, so boom, 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 you get addicted, you like it, you want more of it, that kind of crap. So when you turn it to monochrome, it's not there anymore. Of course, anytime I hand it to people, like, oh, you're one of those people, okay. That's cool. But it's hard to get informed because everything is, you read a headline, right? You read a headline and it says, the world's coming to an end. And nobody reads the body of the article, which says, like, it's not really coming to an end. Like, I just couldn't think of anything.
It's coming to the end in like
of this sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and a new marketing tool that manipulates that is something called clickbait.
Oh.
That comes up on Facebook, and it'll say something to the effect of share scene with boy toy walking out of club, and then it'll say see more. And you'll click on that. share a scene with Boy Toy walking out of a club. It happens to be her nephew, and they're out having a good time on the town.
You just change the algorithm to Facebook and all of these other.
And we were talking about CIA the other day, and this is freaking me out. And the only thing that didn't work is I sent a message to somebody about a pocket pussy, just to see if Facebook
would flag it.
Would not flag it.
Show you something
to see. Advertising.
Yes, that's what I know.
Because just what was it earlier? Well, it was a test. I don't want to.
Hey,
no.
Hey, you know what? Look,
that's the look you need right there.
Dude,
but listen. Earlier, what were we talking about?
CIA pocket pussy.
No.
MK Ultra.
Early in the week, something was going. Oh, the lights. When I talked to you on the phone about buying the lights, guess what came up on Facebook?
Oh, lights.
LED lighting.
Yeah. Well, look. No offense, but like people think this is crazy. All you have to do is look up the idea. Look up Echelon. Look up the Five Eyes. Look up. There's anything that you transmit over a digital line. If it involves ones and zeros, it is seen. Period. It's not seen by human eyes. It's seen by a computer that scans. They've got
They're
keywords.
gonna see a lot of pictures of my balls then.
They do. They do. And they don't care.
And now the computer goes next. Next.
So
Did he shave? Next.
This bubble gum trick again.
So I wanna. I actually owned a pocket pussy for a very brief time. I did. I owned one. I just did. Well, look.
I want one so I can stick it in.
That'd be good. You know the thing you know what made me get rid of it, and I'm not going to be too graphic here, but you know what made me get rid of it?
The smell.
No, the cleaning up after myself. I clean up my own mess.
Well, what you do is you take it into the hot shower. You stick it in the hot shower. Okay, married guy. I mean, we're all single in here.
That's right. If technology can help me get off in a more efficient way,
it does.
Yeah,
fine.
They have websites for that.
I use that.
He's
but then
putting in the man hours.
Yeah.
The research.
You seen some of those girls use machines?
We just talked about actually getting multiple, evidence.
How come women use machines, but it's like I buy something that's a fake pussy and it's bad. I threw it away. It was ridiculous because it's big. They go, oh, it looks just like a flashlight. No, it doesn't.
Okay, so
Are you gonna spit on it
way
first?
well.
that reminds me of in Houston they were gonna open up a robo brothel and they couldn't figure it out how to make sure it was clean enough. So they're like, oh, you can't do it. And I'm like, this would be fucking it'd be really good. It was
Funky.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all that too. But I was like, okay, so this is actually gonna happen. And they were like, yeah, so the cleanup part, we haven't figured that part out yet. And I was like,
So see, I actually had that's awesome that you brought that up. I actually did a stand-up skit and I taught that. And I came up with the idea of what's called a robot vaginal sanitization expert. You get paid $8 an hour, and your sole job is to clean the loads out of the robot. They're done. One of the benefits is that you get to bang one of the robots.
well, no,
once a week.
I would assume what they would do is just a rechargeable cartridge that you get to just take home with you.
You just buy the thing that you're gonna do.
Yeah. And then you just jam it in the robot, and then whenever you leave, you get to take it with you as a memento. It's like when you go to Disney.
This shit's showing up on Shark Tank.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Hold on. So I gotta buy.
Look.
I gotta buy this.
Yeah.
Do I gotta buy the mouth
Yeah,
too?
well, it's the whole head.
Yeah. Well, no.
Through the whole head.
Well,
no, you don't want the whole head.
It's the add-ons.
Yeah.
Right, no,
You're
but I
just
gotta buy an add-on for every orifice?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just
Cha-ching.
Yeah. That's how. Like I said,
I ain't worried about you. I'm getting paid.
But that means that I
Yeah.
have to clean out.
literally.
I believe it. Isn't that how it works in real life? It's costing a ton of money.
Yeah.
It's like one rate for this, one rate for that, one rate to use it with a wiffle ball bat.
$10 to
If
touch
you're
me
gonna
while
hit it, you
Yeah,
gotta have insurance.
$10 for me to touch me while I touch me. $10 to touch me while I touch my toes. No, like, okay, so, like, I thought it'd be, like, hilarious, though, because, like, you know, you could be like, yeah, I went to, like, the Robo Sex Brothel in Houston. Like, you come back and, like, show all your bros. You're like, yeah, check what I got. And it's just, like, this
like a
crusty,
trophy you bring with you.
crusty, like, Robo-giner. And you're like, yeah, bro.
It's hardened.
You can put it on your mantle.
It rolls down the stairs like a wet, sloppy slinky.
Oh my god.
There is two thought going.
See, last week the band packed up and left because they thought they were done. Now I think the band's going to pack up and leave because of this conversation.
The sweet Robo brothel.
Dude, do you know how many people are going to go out right now? And first off, they're going to look up.
They're going to go
Robo brothel.
They had no idea. Yeah. They're like, I can do that. Oh.
What country was it where they have like these machines that are
Used for harvesting.
used for like extracting semen from people that are too embarrassed
for
Yeah.
banks.
Yeah,
Japan.
And it's
It's gotta be Japan.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's all-
it looks like the vacuum cleaner from the Teletubbies.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
the
like
first
this, like,
slide, I was
weird-
That's weird.
And look,
It's just like walk up to this like vending machine. You're like, all right, so just okay. I've done my duty.
Do you even get like a picture of a pretty girl, or is it just
I think
suck?
It's like
I think we're talking about something else.
Because
in Japan they have strap into.
it's like a dong
And it's
shop
fr-
vac.
No, it's not. Not. You
Don't
strap,
use a shop
you
vac,
strap
you get hurt.
into it, and it's a virtual reality where you're actually making love to a woman, but it's a
Yeah, you put your dick in it.
Yeah.
See, mine looked like a
strap
trash
it on
can
like
that
a
had
suit.
like this.
So it's all you have the thing on.
Okay,
and
yeah,
you're hugging her and everything. You feel it.
Okay, yeah, you're talking about a. They have like another one that's literally just like a dong shop.
I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
but like that's like
That's
the
what
one
I.
we're talking
That's
about.
it's
Yeah.
totally different.
It looked like R2D2 that
Yeah.
was like
Yeah, just with like a mouth.
needed some money.
I mean,
So,
in all
Dude,
fairness,
R2 fell some more
RT,
time.
me too. I don't know what that means.
Angel and the Outlaw, you gonna get into this conversation or no?
that's-
They already packed up.
They're gone.
They're
This
gone.
is we're out.
Died. Like,
Japan, man, I have not been.
Did they really
Crazy
leave?
stuff there.
nah.
No, they're out. Who
Yeah.
knows? They're
Cigarette,
gone.
something.
Yeah, they're like, you know what?
They're out
It's
there Googling
the robot
podcasts.
vaginas
Yeah.
and the vacuum cleaners. I'm gonna leave. This is
Yeah, where did we
Vacuum
go?
cleaners?
I was throwing it to Patty for anime. Now we're talking about.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
this
that's
is
very
weird.
similar. That's a
This is actually a pretty solid
that's an excellent,
transition.
excellent segue. Anime. Very. Those are very similar things, and or used by the same, like community.
Oh
I
my
would
God.
assume.
Yeah, but sex sells, right? It's
Yeah.
period. Inventory. It doesn't matter if it's a vacuum cleaner or a fake vagina or a real vagina.
Or a
I
vacuum.
still
You
wouldn't
can
put my
bang
dick
it.
in a real vagina. I mean, wait, fuck, I said that wrong.
I said it
a
again.
fucking vacuum.
Oh my
cleaner.
god!
Dude, you're getting married, man. What
I was
the
about
hell?
to say.
Yeah, man, you get married.
yeah.
Stop saying the F word.
That was.
refer to your wife as the shop vac.
That's just terrible.
To be part of this show, no.
Tiny Savage is gonna have your ass. Hey,
You're gonna walk in, she's like, it's the shop vac, huh?
shop back, huh?
Is that the new name?
Oh, dude.
I think that's still probably better than dishwasher.
Alright.
All I want to say is that if I ever put my dick in a vacuum cleaner, it's gonna be a Dyson, because that thing never loses suction. Just saying. Dyson can be maybe it's their middle name. I don't know. Maybe their first name's like Elizabeth or something. I don't know.
It's pretty sexy, man.
With that being said, I've always wanted to fart with a blade.
Yeah, super ergonomic.
Fit right in your hand.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's just like
Ex-
Minecraft coffee
Get that
table.
extension hose.
Yeah, there you go.
Extend
Reach
it
all
over.
the way
Right there,
underneath
Patty?
the house.
He's all hot and bothered.
All I'm saying now all I'm saying is that if I get one of those vacuum cleaner thingies and Tiny Savage is like walking by and I'm just gonna be like, don't bother me while I'm vacuuming my room, and then like it's gonna be like stuck to my dick like in Scary Movie.
Doofy. Is it
Yeah,
Doofy?
yeah, from Scary Movie.
Yes.
I told you not to bother me when I'm cleaning my room. And he's got the vacuum.
You did that way too well.
Way
That's just.
I can say that I have never put my dick in a vacuum cleaner because I'm way too terrified that it's gonna rip all the skin off, and that's just gonna be a doctor's visit that I don't want to have to go to.
Here's the thing that worries me about that statement. All he said was a vacuum cleaner. He didn't say, I have not put my dick in anything unnatural like that. All he specifically said was a vacuum cleaner.
I have
So there is
ruled
a story somewhere.
Yeah.
Vacuum cleaners for sure.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, there was the whole like the ham. Not the what bottle? No, I remember the ham story, which, and now player to be named later over here is just like, fuck, we brought that up.
Oh my God. That was two.
That was two.
Within 2 seconds of each other. Good Lord.
What did I say? Story again?
What'd I do? What?
yeah.
Was it this? Did I say this? Did I say this story again? What was it that I said? I'm just.
I think it was that you dropped an F-bomb. I don't think we're supposed to do that. Yeah, well, I'm over here doing all, like, the video editing and stuff for this, and I haven't been able to contribute, so if I want to drop an F-bomb, I'm dropping an F-bomb.
Patty over here
He's
getting on.
taking control.
Hey.
You notice the camera's pointed at him for the last 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's like, this is my segment, nerds.
You guys get
Vacuum.
Look at my face.
Alright, so sad tears, loneliness, and anime.
Yeah.
Sad tears, loneliness,
Yeah.
anime.
Hey,
How is Netflix
How is
ruining
Netflix?
your
Come on.
illusion of
Women.
Sailor Moon?
No, it's not Sailor Moon. It was they just released Neon Genesis. No, it was Neon Genesis that came out in the '90s, and it was supposed to be. It's the one with It's the one with the boy and they fight in the giant robots and they fight. They're called angels or whatever.
You're gonna have to be a lot more specific.
Did nobody watch
I was Dragon Ball.
What? I don't know what the hell.
No, this is gonna go way over your head.
No,
Just-
no, I'm out.
I will tell you right now that I have zero clue about what you guys are talking about.
So how did Netflix?
So basically, what Netflix did is they wanted to bring it over to like mainstream because it hasn't been available since like the late '90s. And
Like anywhere? Not even.
well, I mean, like you could if you had to get like the DVD.
What about Hollywood Video?
family video.
I fucking hate y'all.
Go out to Taylor, there's a family video that's still open, dude. Yeah, dude.
Dude, if you go into Georgetown, they still have one of the Hollywood video things set up. I mean, it's all like tore down, but the building's still there, and you can like look at that relic right there. And then little Timmy's over here, like, I don't know what that is, Dad. So.
I feel that nowadays one of the biggest like cool shit was like whenever you go into like a video store, you're like, holy crap, I'm gonna rent the crap out of this. And then like you take it home and then like you don't rewind it because you're like, screw these next people, I hate them. And then
No,
they just return it back.
You went in and said, I'm gonna rent this. You see the box, there's 30 of them,
Yeah.
and you run up. They're all fucking empty.
Yeah, and then you have to like go to like the little person and they're like,
And no, we don't. Hey, can you go check the box and see if anybody's turned in?
Yeah, like and see if like they haven't. They're like, no.
No. And how many of y'all, the first thing you did when you walked in Blockbuster, remember how they'd line all the videos up?
Yeah.
You didn't even go look at the shelves. You just stood there at the counter and started going through them.
All the turn-ins that they have.
Yep.
Those are the good ones.
You're a little
Right
sometimes.
there. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Hey, so there was a TV show that Amazon just came out with called Good Omens, and that was a Neil Gaiman.
Did you hear about how people
were pissed?
No, this is like the best troll thing ever. So a bunch of Christians were really pissed off with the show and they wanted it canceled. So no, but this is the best bit. So they want it canceled, so they start a petition and it gets like 30,000 signatures. So Netflix went and posted a thing and was just like, all right, we hear you guys. We're going to remove Good Omens from our streaming stuff. And the best bit is that it's on Amazon Prime. It's not on Netflix. So then Amazon Prime jokingly went and they responded and said that they were going to remove, they were like, we see what you're doing, Netflix. All right, cool. Amazon Prime, we're going to stop streaming Stranger Things, which is only on Netflix. Yeah. And when everybody saw that Netflix was going to take down Good Omens, they were like, oh, yeah, good. This is so great. Well,
They sent the petition to the wrong streaming service.
They thought Netflix made the thing.
That's pretty good.
It's like you're gonna get outraged, but you get outraged at the wrong thing. It's like
I
that's
hate when that
perfect.
happens.
That's
Like outraged for a lot of stuff.
Somebody
like,
asked
not
her-
having a dilly bar.
Somebody asked the kid what service they need to send it to, and the kid was like, "Oh yeah, it's
Netflix.
Netflix."
What's the first one that comes to your head?
Good luck.
Yeah, shut up. You're not my real mom.
But
exactly
if
how
you're
that
not easily,
It's like, no, we're gonna get this stopped. No, Mom, no, we're gonna get it stopped right now, and I'm not vaccinating you. So
Out of volume.
Oh man, I'm out of value.
yeah, if you like, to me, it's if you want to watch a good show, Good Omens is great. But if you are a Christian who gets offended,
which is
maybe
most
don't watch it. Maybe don't watch it.
Or do. I don't
Or do.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's
same,
really
you know what,
good.
and that's the same for anything. If you enjoy a show, why just go. Just
Well, that's
go
the thing that
watch
it
something
blows my
else.
mind.
Anything else, scroll right by.
hey, Mike, so real quick, so I know we can't use like F-bombs and stuff like that. What about like other certain words? Do we get one of those? Because I have something I'd love to say as far as people getting offended. You know what? As far as everybody get offending, make America not a bunch of cunts offended by everything. Slogan across the board. There you go.
You're absolutely right. That's the thing that blows my mind is that it's okay if something makes you mad. That's totally fine. It's a human reaction. It's okay if something offends you. But it's delusional to think that because you have these feelings, now the world, you need to change.
Like the last
You
3
need
minutes
to
of the
change.
show.
Yeah,
I think that
oh
was
God.
pretty offensive to some.
No, like whom? Whom was it offensive
Well,
to?
let's say if Blanche was watching.
Yeah, okay.
Well, she
Yeah.
wouldn't.
You shouldn't use the C word.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
she wouldn't have
This isn't
understood anything
written.
we were talking
Yeah.
about.
Just say Giner.
Giner.
Say see you next Tuesday.
This isn't your alone time watching one of your animes.
Yeah,
Sin
nerd.
cave.
Hey, do you have one of those pillows?
Oh, weeaboo pillow.
Oh
Is
my
that what it
god,
is,
like the
Luigi?
body pillow? Oh,
come on.
dude, we should find one.
No, it's a cat-shaped one.
it's a cat. Yeah.
Oh my god, like a big cat or a little cat? Because both of them are equally creepy.
No, it's my own photoshopped cat.
And I just hold on. We've given Patty a bunch of crap, pretty much since 6th grade.
Yeah, since he pushed me out of a window.
Yeah.
No, I was in.
So hold on.
Oh, and I'm the asshole.
And we're kind of messing with him now. And I just want to say that in all the years that he's been a part of this crew and he's been around, that he has taken everything we've thrown at him, probably better than most people or any of us. And this
And I'm
last,
still
He's had
here.
some breakdowns.
yeah, we've had some epic breakdowns. But however, I just want to say that if it wasn't for this man in this last week and everything that he's pulled together to replace our production company that kind of bailed on us, that had to quit, we wouldn't be out on the air tonight. I just want to thank him publicly because it was great work, Patty, and we're going to get this thing figured out.
We're gonna get it figured out. Thank you. Just like yeah.
Thank you.
He's like the vacuum.
Thank you, Patrick.
You know. The
Thank you,
vacuum-
Patrick.
the
Whatever.
Whatever.
Oh, and he's getting married.
That yeah, I'm engaged.
So we don't want to screw that up, guys, because there's actually a woman that wants to marry him. So we're just gonna
I won't be the only married guy in the room.
exactly.
Oh,
Wait,
good
she
for
doesn't-
you.
Did she listen to
We
this?
gotta find that segment
She
we
listen
did
to
where we
this?
read his
She's probably
text message.
Oh my God,
So you're safe.
you know what? I have to go back in the archives.
That was years
What are you
ago.
searching for?
Danger came over, and this was one of the best bits we've ever
Probably still have
done.
those text messages.
And
possibly.
And he
Nah,
had
I
gotten
don't even
he had
know
gotten a
what.
Tinder date, and it was going pretty good.
He hasn't read it.
And actually,
No, it was Tinder.
she
Is it
was
cat form?
listening. So somebody got a hold of his phone.
No. I got hammered, so I
gave the phone over. You were playing the girl, and douchebag Seth was playing me, and y'all would sit there and they would read the messages. So Mike would be like, "Oh, hoo, talking like this," and Seth would just be like, "Oh." And the messages weren't inappropriate in any ways. We were talking about our cats, and she was, it was flirtiness with.
You guys are making cat noises to each other.
Something. It was some weird shit. So.
Thank God we killed that relationship.
Well, yeah.
She called him after the show.
Yeah, it was
yelling at him.
No.
She calls. She didn't call. So we're doing the bit. They finished that up, and then she's texting me, and I just get a text message, and it's all caps, and it says, "You think that's real funny, huh?" And I was like, and I'm drunk and I'm confused. I was like, "What?" She's like, "I'm listening to the show right now, and you think that it's funny to sit there and make fun of the way that like we're talking to each other?" And I was kind of just like, I was just like, we weren't doing anything bad. We were just reading the text messages because we thought they were funny. There wasn't anything bad about it. And then she's just like, "No, I'm done with this. We're breaking up." And I think I was sitting around right over here because y'all were all sitting there. And then we were still on the show.
Yeah.
I'll come with you on the show.
Yeah.
That's great.
No, better. It gets better. So then I'm sitting over here and I'm just like, I'm not talking and I'm just like all grumpy and stuff like that. And so Mark goes, there probably was a couple tears because, hey man, I was happy to be getting laid again. Okay. So Mark is like, he's like, "What's the matter?" And I just go and I ended up cracking my screen. I threw my iPhone at the wall. I was like, "So and so, whatever her name was, she's listening right now, and because of you asshole, she just broke up with me because we were really," and I like stormed out and stuff like that.
Of course, being the friends that we are.
We laughed.
Yeah. Oh my
so
God.
hard.
Really
and then it was like, I guess like a few weeks later, she said, "Yeah, you tried to get back with him."
It wasn't
And
even
you're like a few weeks. It was like it was like a couple of days later. Tiny Savage and I matched on Tinder, and we were talking. Like we went on a date, and then like within not even 2-3 days after that, we were dating. And then, after that girl broke up with me, I had to update my Tinder profile. And at the very, very end, it had like a little PS, and it said, "My friends are assholes. Good luck." And then she came over, because it wasn't so much this guy, it was Mad Mike. It was Mad Mike that like girl just couldn't deal with. But no. So then we.
You wrote my Tinder profile for me.
It worked.
It did work.
Yeah,
it worked.
They are phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's just
oh
great.
My God.
But yeah.
So she comes up. Yeah, no, it's thanks to like that. So she says that she wants to come over here and hang out at the. First we hung out at Davis's place, and I get completely blackout drunk. I pass out on the couch, and Davis is like, "All right, come on, Hannah, we're gonna go out in the parking lot and crush some brewskis." And Davis had 4 of the 20-ounce, like, what were they, Bud Light cans, and he's like, "We're gonna shotgun these, but we're gonna shotgun them back to back. So we're gonna shotgun 40 ounces of beer." Mind you, my fiance is about 5 foot, like maybe 90 pounds soaking wet.
Oh, you better be careful of that.
and so they basically go and.
You know I weigh 9 pounds.
So then,
like I said, I'm passed out. And her and she just crushes both of these back to back. And Davis is just like, "All right, from now on, you're called Tiny Savage." And then when we woke up the next morning, he was just like, after she went home, he kind of like sat me down. He was like, "All right, Patty, she tolerated me, but guess what? She shotgunned like 40 ounces of beer in less than 10 seconds, and it was awesome." He was like, "If you screw this up in any way, because her and I are like best friends now, I'll hate you forever."
Very not cash money.
Well, it's a good weeding out process we have here, especially with this group, is that when we meet women that we're interested in, that are not already married, if they don't make it through the gauntlet.
I guess it's mostly just me.
Yeah, I guess this shitstorm doesn't stop. So
It just keeps rolling.
Yeah,
it ain't just one.
Like, I feel like it gets worse at like times, or you're just depending on like the time of year and like whatever drinking binge we go on. Because there's like a couple times where we're just like, sounds good. Radio show Monday. Hey, we don't have to work Tuesday. let's go get super hammered for like the next 2 days. It's doing bad.
No.
All right. Well, guys, good show. Next week, I wrote this down. Next week, Ali Alakafji, he was supposed to be here today, but he's actually out scouting locations for his next movie, and he couldn't make it in today, but he will be here next Monday. He's an author, a producer, a director, writer, and actor. And he's very good. I've been in a couple of his movies, and he'll be in to talk to us.